And we're back again, race fans. We're week 3, race 5 at the lovely Road America. Absolutely love this track. It's a good old mixture, tight bends, offers up some super close racing at times, and it's got the sweeping carousel, which is always a challenge. Let's see how these GR86s hold it up. Let's go and have a look and see how they line up on the grid this week. So out front, we have our good old friend Dan Wareham out front with Christopher Smith in second. On the second row, we've got Jack Holland, followed by Sean Webber. And then not far behind, Eric Ronenberg with Sinan just on the third row with Eric, closely followed by Peter Woodmore and Stuart Court back in 8th. Unusual for Stuart. We'll see what happens here. Rob Sutherland and Lee Rylands round out the top 10, followed by Daniel Martin, Peter Sidkar, and then further down the grid behind Peter we have Craig Corish, Ryan Dudley, Dan Forster, Kevin Woodmore in 16th, Scott Kostrick in 17th, Martin Shirley 18th, Matthew Smedley and David Swinhoe round out the top 20 with Adrian Hadfield, Stuart Brearley and a newcomer, Harry Hartley Price. Welcome. I hope you enjoy the race tonight. And Dave Clark closely behind him. And rolling up behind Dave Clark, we have Michael Elms and John Johnston. Right, just waiting for Barney to drop the flag, and Dan's off. He gets a stonking start there. Dan's away, closely followed by Christopher Smith. Sean Webber is up one from Jack Holland, who's just dropped a place. Eric Ronenberg, Peter Woodmore, Stuart Court, Dan Martin, and Simmons dropping back there. So we come up to turn 1. Dan Wareham, very sweeping turn this, get right outside. And we come down into turn 2. Dan Wareham takes it from Christopher Smith. All safely through there by all accounts of things. This is going to turn out to be a superb race this lot can stick together. So we've got Dan Wareham bringing it down, Christopher Smith to come down to the Moraine Sweep. This is the first toughie. See if they can get this right between them all, nice and safely through. They do, they make a good job of that. Come up into turn 6 under the bridge. Dan Wareham through there. We have Michael Elms have a little off at the back, methinks. But Dan Wareham's now got half a second up from Christopher Smith. Sean Webber in third, and Jack Holland with Eric Ronenberg rolling out your top 5. Peter Woodmore still hanging in there, trying to keep these guys honest. As they come down the carousel, through the kink, down to good old Canada corner. You got to slow right down here, put the anchors on, but still carry enough speed. You can go quite wide here, as Dan does. Perfect execution. Then coming up the hill, back up to the straight. Got a little bit of battling going on there. Stuart Court, Peter Woodmore, and Ryan Dudley. And Dan Wareham brings us round for the first time. Across the road, America Straight, start-finish line. And they're lined up quite neatly here, aren't they? But Sean Webber's got in the tow here. This could give us something. Sean put the action on. He's closing in on Christopher Smith. Is he going to be able to take it? No, he's not going to go for it just yet. But he is close to hanging in there. Christopher Smith now pulling in tightly to Dan Wirham as well. These three really tightly packed. And Sean Webber coming up the inside on Christopher Smith. As we come down, here we go. It should be interesting. Sean Webber on the outside, Christopher Smith on the inside as we come into the Moraine sweep boat. Sean Webber's completed the move before we got to the corner. Absolutely awesome there. Great pass. And those three take it away. Up into the Hurry Downs. And then we'll come around the corner into the carousel. Carousel was long, sweeping corner. That's the Hurry Downs there. And they come round. Whoop, whoop, little twitch there from Sean. Into this carousel. Look, Christopher Smith taking advantage of the loss of the traction that Sean Webber's lost. And you need all of that through there. Spits you right out. And you come around into the kink. You've got to hold your nerve as you go full speed into the kink. In these cars you should be flat, no problem whatsoever. Got a little battle on going back here with Jack Holland, sorry, that was Sean Webber up front. Jack Holland and Daniel Wirham and Eric Ronenberg. Very tasty. Daniel Martin and Jack Holland trading places. I think he's made it through there, Daniel Martin. Clear as we come up. Back onto the road in America. Back out front. Daniel Wirham now under pressure from Christopher Smith. Sean Webber close behind and Eric Ronenberg catching all of the time. Christopher Smith has now pinched that place. Oh, he just lost it. Oh, took out Eric Ronenberg as well. That was really unfortunate. Gave Eric a tap. Eric's recovered nicely, but Christopher Smith has gone. After a brilliant battle there, what has that left us with? So we've got Dan Wirham up front, Sean Webber, and they're off. They're off with it. They're now a second ahead of Daniel Martin. Jack Holland half a second behind, then Rob Sutherland and Stuart Court now in sixth with Eric Ronenberg right on his tail. Eric trying to find a way to take that three wide, I think. I don't think he was going to quite have that. But he's desperately trying to get up the inside of Stuart Court. We've seen these two battling awful enough. And here we are on board. New camera view just programmed into the system. We're on board with Eric. Oh, sorry, on board with Stuart. As he's coming up on Rob Sutherland. As we come round in the carousel, this will give you a really good view of what it's like to go round here with the top driver. Playing on that throttle, hardly comes off at all. Lots of bottle. Now we come up, coming into the kink. Hard on it, take it to the right, not too far out left. Yeah, lovely bit of driving there from Stuart. Now let's see, Eric comes flying down the inside on Stuart there. In the Canada corner, and he takes him. Brilliant, and Stuart's fighting back, he's not giving up yet. That is not the end of the story. Eric's pushed through. Stuart's trying to fight back, closely behind him. You've got Ryan Dudley and Peter Woodmore having a bit of a battle. Right, let's go back up front because I think we've had some change of places up here. We've got Daniel Martin now in second place. Got ahead of Sean Webber, but maybe not for long. Old Sean Webber here, close on his tail. Going to try and come round turn 3, officially turn 3. And he'll have the draft coming all the way down to the moraine sweep. See him inching closer and closer. Looking really good here. As Daniel Martin goes for the inside on Dan Wareham. Sean Webber just stays back a bit, lets his... Oh, and look at the pass there. Dan Wareham gets unsettled. Sean Webber's gone up the inside and followed Daniel Martin through. Good couple of overtakes there from those. Fantastic bit of driving there. And we've still got Stuart Court and Eric Ronenberg battling it out with Ryan Dudley really close behind. And Peter Woodmore hanging on to the tail of these three. A lot of action here, it's really great. Stuart Court trying to create a gap. Not sure he's going to do it. They're all very much in the tow up here, one another. And apart from the odd mistake round the corner, nobody's really getting away. And Eric's desperately trying to get the positions back, get back up there. Can't quite get on it, so we're swapping places again up front. Daniel Martin, Dan Wareham, Jack Holland now squeezed through on Sean Webber. Whoa! I think we have Rob Sutherland went off track there. See if we can... Oh, I think there was a little bit of a push. Not quite sure. He's recovered and he's back on. So, back up front, Daniel Martin, Dan Wareham. Closely followed by Jack Holland now, and Sean Webber in fourth, a long way back and forth. Right, so these three taking it away. Daniel Martin, Dan Wareham, Jack Holland. Then a second and a half back to Sean Webber, Stuart Court, Ryan Dudley and Peter Woodmore. Unfortunately, Eric Ronenberg is now a second and a half behind them. Going to find he's a bit hung out to dry there with no draft. And Stuart Court goes through, but he goes too far on Sean Webber. That was really unfortunate. So Sean Webber retains his place. Ryan Dudley and Stuart Court's now gone behind Eric Ronenberg. All the way back in 8th there. So he's going to have to fight his way back. Meanwhile, a bit further back, Scott Kostrick just did a move there. But I think he's just lost that again. You've got Peter Sidcar just behind, Craig Corish battling out, and here's a nice little battle going on here. Peter, Craig and Dan Forster, three of them tight together. And once you get in the tow with these, very hard to break free. You're relying on the others to make a mistake, and it's not happening. So Scott, Peter Sidcar goes flying through. You see Scott Kostrick there 4 seconds ahead of this bunch. And up on the inside goes Craig on Dan Forster. He completes that move successfully. There's old Adrian Hadfield. That's the old, he might say. Forster just behind him. Well, Ryan Dudley's now having a bit of a battle on his hands. Got Sean Webber up close behind him. Working together, I should think. Try and get away from Peter Woodmore. The Simtech crew pushing and pushing and pushing. Well, out front, Dan's just done a move on Daniel Martin. But methinks Daniel Martin might be looking to take this back. He definitely goes for it. Wasn't anything doing there though. Weren't going to get that one. Not sure what the windscreen wipers are for. Maybe just clicked the wrong button. No rain on this circuit. Not today anyway. As we go back out, we'll watch Jack Holland try and chase these two down in front. We've got a couple of... Well, we've got 3 sets of 3 here. Dan Wareham, Daniel Martin, Jack Holland, and then a little gap back to Ryan Dudley, Sean Webber and Peter Woodmore, and another little gap back to Stuart Court, Eric Ronenberg and Lee Rylands. It's keeping it nice and even, isn't it? And then a little gap back to Martin Shirley, Scott Kostrick and Rob Sutherland. We're going into the arc 3x3 here, aren't they? So Sean Webber's closing Ryan Dudley down. I don't know whether he's going to try and take his teammate or not as we come up to Canada Corner. Is there anything doing here? No. Going to play it safe for another day. Maybe not so much for Stuart Court and Eric Ronenberg. Eric's desperately trying to get on the back of Stuart. They work together, they might be able to close that gap, but it's a good old 4-second gap up to Peter Woodmore. Can't see that happening. So they'll battle each other. We go and have a look. Peter tries to catch up with Sean Webber and Ryan Dudley here. That group's a little split up. Oh, we just lost someone there. Sean Webber went off track. Oh, just lost it under his own steam there, unfortunately. That was a shame. He's back on nice and safely though. As Dan Wareham takes us down towards the Moraine Sweep. Once again, just under 5 minutes to go. Daniel Martin close behind. Very close behind. In fact, you wouldn't get a fag paper between those two right at the moment. Is he going to dive for the inside? Well, if he doesn't, Jack Holland's saying, I might have a look. No. Whoa, and a twitch from Dan. I think Daniel might try to take advantage of that if he can get the traction. Dan goes wide again, catches a bit of dirt. All the time you're doing that, you're just losing a bit of impetus as you come back up the track just where you need it. Daniel Martin has a look for the inside. Nothing doing there. As they come round onto the carousel. Dan Wareham extends that lead. He really does. Now, Jack Holland and Ryan Dudley and even Peter Woodmore starting to catch up on these. Well, that's a result of the battling they've been doing. As we see Daniel Martin go up the inside of Dan Wareham, actually take him before Canada Corner. Great bit of driving. And then we get Jack Holland squeezed in there, in between Ryan Dudley. A little swap over, backs and forwards. Ryan's got some great impetus there if he can hold it. And he stays on the tail of Dan Wirham. But Jack Holland's holding in there as well. And these four neck and neck as they go up the back straight into the first corner. And further back we've got Eric Ronenberg's just taken Sean Webber. Quite what's happened with Sean Webber. He's got some damage back there. But they're going through. Sean Webber, Stuart Court, all going through. Oh, and Eric takes it off again. And loses that place. Unfortunate that was. Right, we've got some action going on back up front as well. We don't know where to look. So, Daniel Martin is back on. Trying to defend from Dan Wirham. Dan Wirham likes to go around the outside here. We see... I can't imagine he's going to make that all the way around. And he does. He absolutely nails it. Fantastic bit of driving from Dan Wirham there. As he goes round the outside. And the rain sweep. Whoa! Daniel Martin gets a little bit excited and loses it. Loses the back end a bit. That's lost his traction. So here we go. Just under a minute now. Dan Wirham brings us round. But he's got Daniel Martin right behind him. As they come round the kink. There is less... There is nothing between these two. What a brilliant fight they've had. Daniel Martin goes up the inside. Oh, he gets caught. He gets tagged. Oh! Oh, that is really, really unfortunate there. So close. So close. That leaves Jack Holland out in front with Ryan Dudley. Wow. So Jack Holland out there with Ryan Dudley as we come across the finish line, guys. What a way to finish. Jack Holland's got to be well pleased with that. Ryan Dudley comes in second, then Peter Woodmore. Oh, a little bit of friendly afters there. And Stuart Court, Eric Ronenberg, Lee Rylands, Dan Wirham come in 8th, Rob Sutherland in 9th, Sean Webber back in 10th. They're all coming across the line now, Martin Shirley. Oh, let's get those results up, shall we? So let's look at Heat 1 results. Here we go, guys. So, after that crash in the at the end of the final lap there, we've got Jack Holland takes it from Ryan Dudley, Peter Woodmore, Daniel Martin and Eric Ronenberg. Oh, thank you. And then we got Stuart Court, Lee Rylands. Closely followed by Dan Wirham, Rob Sutherland and Sean Webber. Wow, that was really a mix-up for your top 10 in the end. You wouldn't have predicted that before that final lap. Craig Corish, Martin Shirley, Kevin Woodmore, Peter Sidcup, Harry Hartley-Price in 15th, Dan Forster, Adrian Hadfield in 17th and Stuart Briley in 18th. Then just close behind them we have John Johnston in 19th, Christopher Smith. Then Sinnott, Dave Clark in 22nd, Michael Elms in 23rd, David Swinhoe 24th, Scott Kostrick 25th, and Matthew Smedley at the back there in 26th. Right, guys. Let's hope race 6 is just as entertaining. It's just round the corner. So we will see you shortly. Welcome back. Reverse top six, or a little jump start there as Barney sets the flag off. And we've got Stuart Court on the reverse grid, leading the reverse grid with Eric Ronenberg, Daniel Martin, Ryan Dudley, Pete Woodmore and Lee Rylands. Dan Wareham close behind with Jack Holland and Rob Sutherland swapping places as we come up into the first corner. Eric Ronenberg's away from Stuart Court and Daniel Martin further back. We've got Dan Wareham, Lee Rylands all swapping places. Wow, it's very busy back there. They all come through turn 3 for the Moraine Sweep for the first time. We're going to go and have a look further down the grid and see how people are getting on. So we're on with Sean Webber now up in the mix there, closely behind Jack Holland. Behind them we've got Pete Sidgart and Craig Corish. Oh, a bit of a coming together there. Oh, stuck in the middle of the track there, these guys. Oh, what a poor rejoin straight into the side of John Johnston. The old league admin won't be too happy about that. From Sean Webber, that was a bit of a poor rejoin. Anyway, back out front, we've got Eric Ronenberg, Daniel Martin leading it away. Ryan Dudley trying to reattach himself to the back of these two. With Stuart Court not far behind. It was all a bit of a carnage back there. Looks like they're all back up and running though. No damage on these cars, so it should be nothing fatal. As Daniel Martin and Ryan Dudley swap places as they come up to Canada Corner. Oh, sweeping round there. Ryan Dudley gets a hell of traction. He's trying to go round the outside of Eric Ronenberg as they come back up to the straight. Whoa, 2 for 1. And Eric drops back to third in one corner. And then has Stuart Court on his tail. I've got to say, I don't think that was poor driving from Eric. I just think the other two really got some traction and took advantage. And they're twisting and weaving, trying not to give too much draft or space. See what Ryan's doing there, trying to stay as close to the inside as he dare, but he can't protect both sides, and Eric's giving him a push. So Eric as close as you like, coming up around the side of these two. So we watch them battle it out. Daniel and Ryan in front of us. But Daniel just to the right dives down the inside on Ryan. Eric stretches out and Stuart Court pushes his way through. And Dan Wareham. Eric is really not having a day of it really. As we watch this lot come downhill now into the Moraine Sweep again. Hopefully we won't see a repeat of that carnage. But we've got side by sides here. Ryan Dudley, Dan Wareham go side by side, Daniel Martin. Sorry, on the inside there. You've got Ryan Dudley, Daniel Martin. And then Dan Wareham very close behind. Dan Wareham in the toe of his teammate. Decides to check for the inside. They come round for the carousel now. Look, Daniel Martin sticks to the road there, but Ryan Dudley's got him up the inside on the carousel. Now, will he be brave enough to hold it through the kink? Well, he holds on to it, and Daniel Martin gets the old mental push to go to the outside. Now you've got the same issue coming into Canada Corner. This could spell trouble here. Oh, but nice bit of driving. He just touches the dirt. I think Ryan Dudley might just get the traction going up the hill. He's going to try and go round the outside. Nothing doing. Daniel Martin holds on to it. Fantastic. Has it really only been 5 minutes? Just see Eric Ronenberg trying to sneak up the inside of Stuart Court there. So now we've got a good old train of about 10 cars or so here coming up the straight. We see Ryan Dudley take to the inside of Daniel Martin, which becomes the outside as we go into T1, and closely behind him is Dan Wareham. He's not going to hold it round the outside, but Dan Wareham is going to take it round the inside and actually sneak that second place, and in fact may even take the front running as he gets really good traction here. So they're queuing up to charge past Daniel Martin now as we come down into the Moraine sweep. They're on the outside, Daniel's on the inside. Oh, this can only end one way. Let's hope it doesn't. Oh, respectful driving, but Daniel didn't need any help and he lost it on his own. That is so unfortunate because that was really good driving. But the pressure of the three of them lined up on the outside would have enough to put anyone off. So poor old Daniel Martin's now back in 18th from leading the race. Very unfortunate there. So Dan Wareham from Ryan Dudley, Eric Ronenberg in third, Rob Sutherland in fourth, back to Peter Sidcar in fifth, and then Jack Holland in sixth. Lee Ryland seventh, Martin Shirley and Craig Corish and Christopher Smith round off your top 10. And you can see them all. Look, the top 10 and more, all within touching distance of each other. This is so close. I don't want to leave the top two. Look at them. Teammates or not, they're really going for it in the Canada corner. And up the inside, Ryan Dudley holds off his teammate Dan Wareham, and Eric Ronenberg's now up into third. I think we've lost Stuart Court, who was started on pole. He's back in 12th. That's really unfortunate. So Ryan Dudley brings us up across the line with Dan Wareham closely followed by Eric Ronenberg. Is Eric going to try and move? He's edging slightly for the inside. Not sure he will. He may just hold off and try and get him on the way down to the Moraine sweep. That would be the sensible option here. Otherwise he'd only be giving away the toe himself if he took them too early. And there those guys go. We go back to Rob Sutherland. Let's go on board with Rob for a bit. So he's trying to chase these down. He's got Peter in his sights. But we're going to go back to the lead for the Moraine sweep because we want to see how this works out with Ryan and Dan. Yep, they're all pretty good there. Peter went a bit wide. Let's let Rob Sutherland back in. Marty Shirley and Lee Ryland's trade places further back. But we're all good now. Ryan Dudley, Dan Wareham, Eric Ronenberg are your top three. Then we're over half a second back. Peter Sidcar, closely followed by Rob Sutherland, Jack Holland, and Marty Shirley dishing it out 6th and 7th. Now, further back, as you'd expect, Daniel Martin is fighting his way back. He was 18th last time we looked. He's made it up, back up into 14th. So we'll keep an eye on how he does as we come through the rest of the race. But Ryan Dudley back out front has got his teammate Dan Wareham breathing down his neck. Dan's giving him the hurry up here, but Dan himself is under pressure from Eric Ronenberg as Eric tries the little dummy up the inside just before the final corner. Backs out of that one. Peter Sidcar and Rob Sutherland not far behind. And Jack Holland not far behind them. 10 minutes in. We all go across the line. Ryan Dudley, Dan Wareham, Eric Ronenberg, Peter Sidcar, Rob Sutherland, top 5. Jack Holland just behind them. He's going to make a move on Rob Sutherland by the looks of it. If he can get close enough. Doesn't quite make it. And your top 4 comes safely down towards the marine sweep. Yeah, again. Oh, and off the back there, we lost Sinan. What happened there? Let's go have a look. Oh, he got past Stewart and then looked like he got a little nudge. That's very unfortunate. Ryan Dudley is now under severe pressure from his teammate Dan Wareham. Peter tries to go down the outside of Eric, and as Ryan Dudley gone a bit wide, Peter's gone a bit wide as well, but still manages to maintain his position. Not going to go around the outside there, or is he going to go around the outside there on Eric? And he does, or does he? Eric's pushing back. Eric's got the inside here as we come into the hurry downs and round the corner for the carousel. Yeah, Eric's ahead of Peter there. And we've still got a good 10 or so cars in view here as we come into the carousel. So the back of this line of cars, we've got Martin Shirley, Lee Rylands, and Craig Corish. So looking down there all the way to first, we've got, yeah, quite a big gap now. Lee Rylands from Martin Shirley, but then from Martin Shirley forwards, there's not a lot in it and anything could happen. Oh, Craig Corish, little bump there from Christopher Smith by the look of it, and just going up the inside. Christopher has got Craig. There we go. And around they go. Going up to the straight. No harm, no foul. As Peter now takes the lead from Ryan Dudley and Eric Ronenberg sneaks through. So Peter Sidcar, Eric Ronenberg, Rob Sutherland have taken Ryan Dudley and Dan Wareham. Incredible. A complete change. And Eric's now fighting for the lead again, as he goes up the inside of Peter Sidcar. Absolutely fantastic. So Eric solidly got the lead there, although now he's given the draft and the tow to Peter and Rob Sutherland, who are cleverly working together here. Now this is going to be very interesting, as Peter Sidcar takes the lead, leaving Rob Sutherland and Ryan Dudley on the inside. What's going to... Oh, no! Rob Sutherland takes out Ryan Dudley there, unfortunately. That was a bit of bad luck there. Eric Ronenberg now, Peter Sidcar are away. Ryan Dudley recovered, Rob Sutherland hasn't. He's fallen all the way to the back. Whereas Eric is now clearly getting on with it. Eric Ronenberg, Peter Sidcar now pulling away from Dan Wareham. I wouldn't have thought that'll last long though. We've got another 10 minutes to go. There's plenty of time. for Dan Wareham and Jack Holland to make up that space, closely followed by Martin Shirley and Ryan Dudley. Oh, and Eric makes a mistake. And he's let them all through. Peter's through, Dan's through, Jack Holland's down close on Eric's tail, but Peter's away with it. Peter's now got Dan Wareham to worry about. He comes round into around they come. Peter Sidcar, Dan Wareham chasing him down. Eric Ronenberg trying to make those spaces back up. It's all pretty tight further back. Ryan Dudley fighting away there, but we've got Eric Ronenberg closely on the tail of Dan Wareham. Dan Wareham's closely on the tail of Peter Sidcar. And then Martin Shirley's now nicely under pressure from Ryan Dudley. Nicely for us, not so much for Martin Shirley. Ryan dives to the inside, which is the outside. Is he going to stay there on the carousel? He is. I think he's got it. He's got him on the carousel there. And Ryan Dudley's going to lead this little group of 5 down through the kink into Canada Corner. Jack Holland looking down, trying to get part of the fight. We're on board with Jack as we come into Canada Corner. Nothing given. All the opportunities closed up in front of him as he come around the corner. But it's a good opportunity up in the straight as long as he gets some good traction on this last bend. Stay within touching distance. Not sure it's going to happen. The guys in front are now pulling away, unfortunately. So we've got Christopher Smith leading Martin Shirley, closely followed by Lee Rylands. Right, back out front. Peter's under pressure now from Dan Wareham, who's now taking the place. I think Peter had put a wheel slightly off track there. But he is in the toe. But so is Eric hunting him down behind as well. Just over 6 minutes to go. Oh, he cuts his nose off there, Dan. Doesn't give him an inch. And Eric goes from the outside, tries to pull on the inside, coming up for the next bend. Not going to quite make it. Peter managed to hold his place there. This is great battling from these guys up front. Been a lot of changes. Peter's fought his way up in the second position. Absolutely fantastic. Dan goes a little wide, as does Ryan Dudley. I think they're fairly safe now, bar any issues, mistakes. The fights for second and third here. It's Eric on Peter. And while they're fighting, Dan's having it away out front. So through the kink, down into Canada corner. Who's going to be the bravest on the brakes? We've got to find a way through first, and Eric's trying to go up the inside. Oh, doesn't quite get the traction he needed to pull through. He managed to shut the door, and he's away again. That gap grows. But Dan Wirham's nearly a second ahead now out front, and Ryan Dudley's now on the tail of Eric Ronenberg. So closely fighting there. And further back, we've got Kevin Woodmore and Rob Sutherland. Rob Sutherland trying to fight his way back after that earlier incident. Oh, looks like we may have lost Eric Ronenberg at the front there. Let's see what happened there. Oh, Eric just gone all twitchy, lost it, gone off track. But he's back again. Lost a shed load of places, but he's back. Meanwhile, Dan's away, over half a second away from Billy Sinker, and Ryan Dudley with Christopher Smith now caught up to these three. So he's back on the back in the draft. Martin Shirley, Lee Rylands behind them, and Jack Holland. Craig Corish is second behind in 8th. Eric Ronenberg now back down to 9th with Stuart Court 5 seconds behind in 5th under pressure from Daniel Martin. Trying to put the pressure on Stuart Court, and our newcomer Harry Hartley Price joining in a fun battle there. These are two guys you wouldn't want to readily mix it with, but if he can hang on, they will show him which bits of the track to go for to get the maximum speed out of this. It's always great when you've got faster drivers in front of you. You can follow through. You can learn so much just by hanging on to their tail. What lines they take. Watch carefully where they brake and where they accelerate. Just hang on for dear life. These two are making a good battle for it. Whilst Dan Wirham is feeling the pressure now from Peter Sidcup up front. Ryan Dudley and Christopher Smith just behind them, trading places. Yeah, bit of a closer fight going on there as Ryan Dudley comes up the inside. Oh, Martin Shirley pushed back there. So we've got Christopher Smith, Ryan Dudley, Martin Shirley and that little trio. And then Peters trying to get close on the tail of Dan Wirham as we come up to T1. Whoop. And I think that's Ryan Dudley just pulled out on the outside behind as well. So I think we might see Ryan Dudley go up the inside, will we, on Christopher Smith. Now, Christopher's held on for now. Not for long, I don't think. Yeah, Ryan Dudley, Christopher Smith trading places here side by side. Martin Shirley trying to push his way through, follow the faster guy through. But who's that? Lee Rylands on the outside as well, trying to make it 3 wide. No, not 3 wide into the Moraine sweep, please guys. Oh, pushed out wide there, Ryan Dudley. Well, when I say pushed, I mean he did it mainly to himself. He had nowhere to go. He's holding on, good enough to hold on. Does it again. Right, now we've got Dan Wirham. Whoa, and a little twitch from Peter as he's desperately trying to catch him up. And we lost Martin Shirley. That was really unfortunate. Not long to go now. Dan Wareham takes us through the kink with Peter Sidcar really close on his tail, and then there's a hell of a battle going on behind with Christopher Smith, Ryan Dudley, Lee Rylance, Jack Holland. Gonna stick with these guys through Canada Corner. As we come up, it should be the final time. We're over 25 minutes on the timer here. Dan Wareham closely followed by Peter Sidcar and across the line, and it's going to be Dan Wareham. I don't think Peter's going to have enough traction to take him. It's going to be close, but it is Dan Wareham for Peter Sidcar, then Christopher Smith and Ryan Dudley. Oh, we've got a gaggle of them. Christopher Smith, Ryan Dudley, Jack Holland, Lee Rylance, Craig Corish, Eric Ronenberg, Stuart Court. Then we've got Martin Shirley, Dave Swinhoe, Scott Crosstreet coming up behind, Rob Sutherland fighting away there. Oh! Was that after the line, I hope? Otherwise someone wouldn't be too happy. Adrian Hadfield. And that sees us come across the line there as Dave Clark flashes his lights at the commentator. Let's go and have a look and see the results of the feature race. We have Dan Wareham just ahead of Peter Sidcar, Christopher Smith, Ryan Dudley and Jack Holland for your top 5. 5 seconds between them, and very closely behind them Lee Rylance, Craig Corish, Eric Ronenberg, Stuart Court and Daniel Martin in the top 10. And crikey, there was some swapping of places between that lot. Martin Shirley, Dave Swinhoe, Rob Sutherland, Stuart Briley, Kevin Woodmore take you down to 15th. Dave Clark comes in at 16th there. Adrian Hadfield close behind, and then Sinan. And then just back from Sinan, we have Dan Forster in 19th, John Johnson in 20th, Sean Webber 21st, 22nd for Matthew Smedley, and Peter Woodmore 23rd, Harry Hartley-Plyce 24th. Well done, Harry, for hanging in there. Scott Kostrick and Michael Elms finish us off. So thank you ever so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and we'll be back again next week. Enjoy, guys.